I've been following the Starch Solution for over 6 months now. And in the beginning, I had cravings, you guys. Yes, I had cravings. And they would come up, especially in the first few weeks, just around fatty foods. And if someone was eating something around me that wasn't in alignment with high carb, low fat, maybe a sugary treat or something like that. And so how did I combat those cravings? Here's the deal. For me, I just had to notice what was coming in, notice what feelings were rising up, and say to myself, okay, do I want to water this seed by eating that food? Or do I want to water the seeds of the way that I'm eating, which is highly nourishing, longevity promoting, life sustaining food? And I wanted to water those seeds. And I learned this from Thich Nhat Hanh about watering the seeds. We all have these seeds within us. And if you think of a garden and you water something, that's going to grow. And the seed of craving high fat foods was big in me. And so every time I would eat high fat food, I was watering that seed. And I'm telling you guys that that seed was big and overgrown in me. I had this huge bushel of high fat foods, and I needed to really take away the high fat foods, right? Take away the water so that that overgrown weed within me of craving high fat foods would basically wither and die and go away. And I have to say, that's what happened. So as I stopped watering, i.e. stopped eating those foods, the cravings slowly went down and dissipated, and now I no longer crave those foods. And so think about in your own life, what foods have you been watering that are not supporting you on your own health and longevity journey? And I can name the ones. For me, it was high fat, cheese. If I would ever go off the wagon, I would go eat some cheese. And going and eating cheese did not feel health promoting, life sustaining, or in alignment for me at all. But that's how big the craving and the addiction was for me. And so I really had to commit just to noticing, yes, these cravings will come up. Do I want to water the seed of that in my life anymore? And I didn't. I didn't want to water that seed. I had made that commitment, and you can too. One of the most important things is being aware of it, right? When we're aware of those triggering foods or those foods that can bring us down that path, then we can notice, here you are again, cheese. Here you are again, cashews. Here you are again, high fat food. Here you are again, sugary treat. I see you, and I'm choosing not to water you by eating it. And the less you water that, the less you eat those foods, the more the craving will go away, and the more that you water the other seeds, right, of the high nourishing foods, the more you water those seeds, the more you crave those. So what do you want to be craving in your life? I want to be craving those plant foods that are whole foods, completely nourishing just as they are. And I'm telling you, 6 months ago or 6.5 months ago, some of the foods that I eat now, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so good. I would have been like, what is this? It's so bland. I don't even taste anything. How am I going to eat this? And now I've been watering those seeds so long, for 6 months now. I taste these foods and it's just like, oh my gosh, so good. So just decide for yourself, what seeds do you want to water? What foods do you want to be eating that support you and bring you on your most healthy, vibrant, energetic life? And if you have a food, like I did, that was the kicker for me. I thought I could not give up oil and the more high calorie density foods like cashews, because I loved those cashew dressings. And so if you have a food like that, that it's like, oh, I could eat that way, but I just can't give up whatever it is, cheese, dressings, avocados, nuts, seeds, the list can go on. I'm telling you, you can give it up, first of all. And secondly, it's just if you want to. Do you want to continue watering that seed? And every time you eat that food, you are watering that seed. And so for me, I knew every time I chose to put that in my mouth, I was making that weed get bigger in my life, and I would just crave it more and more. And when I started the Starch Solution 6 months ago, I knew I wanted those weeds cut out of my life, and I never wanted to have to deal with those cravings of those high-fat, sugary, non-healthy foods anymore. I wanted to crave whole plant foods. And so that is how I dealt with cravings. It wasn't easy. For the first 3 weeks, I really had to just notice and say, I see you. I know that you are here. And maybe eat some fruit if I was hungry, or something else that would kind of keep me full and satisfied, so that I knew I could release those cravings and move into the life of eating whole plant foods that I wanted to eat. I hope this was helpful for you, you guys. Cravings can be quite a little pest, and so this is getting at the root of it. Let's root those weeds up of those foods that no longer serve us, and release them from our life for good.